All right, so you have this, right? And then Chide was trying to put different concatenations and all of that. All right, so if you have this, and then so I'm going to show us another way we can do that by avoiding putting concatenation every time, right? So for example, this is Candy drives events. This is this is going to give us, right? If I come here and click a space, right, it means I've added a space to this drive. So if I run this, for example, right, you can see what we've done in here, right? So you can see drives. So if I want to do a and drives, I can either come here too and say this, right? And then if I run this, for example, you can see there's a difference, right? If I did not click on this, I can still come here and put space here, and then if I run this, you can see we still have what the space, right? I can come here and then put the space in here, and then if I run this, you can see Kende drives events. So you can see I've done that without using a different white space symbol, right? I only added the space to the the value itself, right? So you can see by adding a white space before this. So every space in Python actually counts, right? So you can't just say you want to add. So if I add a lot of space here, right? Because this is enclosed in a quote, right? So if I run this, I'm going to see the output, right? So anything enclosed in a quotation mark actually means something very important, means a white space, right? So if you have a white space in a quotation mark, it's going to reflect in your answer. All right, so that's basically what you use, a white space for, to make things, to make things very look pretty much attractive and okay. Okay, so Charles, are you there? Okay, if you are there, please kindly unmute.
I'm with you.
Okay, kindly unmute. Is your Google Colab set up?
Yes.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Definitely, I can.
Yeah, I've given you the permission to share screen. Okay. Emmanuel, are you here?
All right, please confirm if my screen is visible over there.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, please, when you're sharing your screen, if you have any confidential thing on your screen, you can take it out before you share your screen. Okay, so for example, we want to do Charles is a rich man, right? So I want to do Charles is a rich man. I want you to just, so no, let's do Charles' favorite color is blue. So I want to, I'm giving you just, the color, which is blue, and then Charles, that's the name. So I want you to do Charles' favorite color is blue.
Okay. Network is quite slow.
That's the disadvantage of Google Colab. Exactly, you are running into a problem. No, so this is the thing, right? Now you can see that you're running into a problem. I want you to figure out what exactly is wrong with your code. I can clearly see what is wrong with your code. Read the error you are having. That's the first step. No, I would not even try to correct you, but I want you to read exactly the errors this interpreter is, sending like an error message to you. So read the error message, and then let's try to go from there. So what's the error message?
Name Charles not found. Better now.
Okay.
So I didn't add my bracket initially.
That was actually not the issue.
Okay. What was the issue?
Can anybody state what the issue was?
I think
Yeah, go ahead, please.
You didn't assign the name and the color, but in the string, like quoted in school, quotation, inside the bracket. Then only assign it to the name variable first. Because,
You're not that clear. But let's move on. We are running out of time. So Charles' favorite color is blue.
Right?
Yes, that's the result we want to see. No, that's the result we want to see. You don't need to run the cell. I want you to use concatenation to derive this answer.
Okay.
Charles' favorite color is blue. To give you an error, definitely. But don't mind. I want you to use concatenation to get this answer. Okay, so exactly. Awesome. Understand where the error is and fix it. That's how to be a good programmer. All right, awesome. That was a nice try, Charles. That's
thank you.
impressive. Okay. All right, so we're going to look at this. Okay, yeah. So there are different ways to concatenate. That was like the first way to concatenate. The second one is using a comma format. But before then, I want us to look at the print function. So in Google Colab, right, as you can see, if you just type this in here, it automatically prints it out for you. Why that is so is that Google Colab and Anaconda, as you can see side by side, they already have an inbuilt, let's say, inbuilt printer that prints to the screen. So we don't need to necessarily type something that prints out what we wanted to send to the screen, right? So it automatically, does, it's just, it will do that for us automatically, right? So, but, looking at it, right, we have a function that does that for us, which is the print function. So for example, if I type, for example, Kehinde now, right? And then it prints it out for me automatically. But the ideal way to do this is to do something like this: print Kehinde, right? So this is the ideal way to do it, because tomorrow you might find yourself using another IDE. Remember what an IDE is, right? And then you do something like this, and then you cannot see your results, right? This is the ideal way to print out a result to the screen. So by using print, so if you want to see 12 now, if you do 12, of course you will see 12. To print that out on the screen, you just do print 12, okay? Now, you can see, because this is an integer, right? That's why we don't need it to be enclosed in a string, right? And I think you know that already. So you can see, this is the ideal way to, print out, your values to your screen, okay? And, this print function, we've looked at one function before now, that's the type function. Now we're looking at the print function. The print function automatically prints out your values to the screen, like I said, right? And a function actually contains what we call arguments. So arguments are basically what the function needs to function, right? Sometimes these arguments are, we have default values. And then if we have default values, you don't necessarily have to pass those arguments in your function. So for example, print function, has two arguments. So look at something. So what I did here in Jupyter Anaconda is when I type my function, and then you can see my cursor is, inside my parentheses, and I press Shift Tab, right? Shift Tab. Just going to type that on the screen. Shift Tab, Shift plus Tab. Okay, so that's basically what I use. I'm going to change this. Okay, so that's basically what I use. With time, we will learn how to use this. Okay, so Shift Tab. Don't worry, with time we'll learn how to use this interface. We'll probably use it more because of network issues. You can see how Google Colab was messing up the other time. Okay, so if I do Shift Tab, for example, I get to see other. So these are called arguments. All right. So these are the arguments of this function print. And then why I like Jupyter Notebook sometimes, most times, is that it gives even an example of what these arguments, what they do, right? So you can see here, so I want to show you this. So you can see here, SEP, right, is equal to, of course, you know what this is now, white space, right? End is equal to this in Python means a new line, all right? And this is also another argument, right? These arguments, as you can see, that they've been equated to something already, right? So it means that this automatically are default arguments, right? So it means that we can change this, we can, decide not to change it. If we decide not to change it, it automatically use the default argument. And this here, for example, has been set that, by default, separation should be white space, all right? This one is saying by default, if you want to end your print statement, end it with a new line, okay? We're going to see how this happens now. So for example, and then you can see here we have value, right? Value is the first thing you type into your print function, right? When we get to function proper, we're going to be looking at arguments and keyword arguments. For example, this is an example of an argument. This is an example of a keyword argument. I'm going to look at what this means. When we get to functions, it will be pretty easy, right? So looking at print, for example, so if we have something like this, print, let's say Kehinde, then print, let's say Joseph, right? If I run this cell, for example, look at what happened. It's printed Kehinde and printed Joseph. Why did this thing not print Kehinde and Joseph on the same line. So let me try out something. Let me see if so why, so we should ask question that, oh, why is this not printing out? So this is going to return an error. Okay, definitely. Okay, so why is this not printing it out on the same line, right? So if we look at the print statement again, okay, if we look at the print statement again, right? So I'm going to press, remember, Shift Tab, right? So you can see this end, right? Basically means if I have another print statement, I want it printed on a new line. That's what basically this thing means, right? So let's include this argument. Let me change this argument, for example. So we can see that the default is what? I'm just going to copy it from here. This is the default, right? So if I put this default here, comma, this, we're still going to have the same thing because we've not done anything, right? We've not done anything. So if I change this, for example, to a white space, what happens? Or let's even leave it to an empty string. What happens? So if I run this cell, can you see what has happened? Right? So this is basically saying if there's any print statement after this one, just use a white space to differentiate it. It is an empty string to differentiate it, right? If this was a white space, I think for now you know the difference between a white space and an empty string. Okay, if this was a white space and I click on run, you can see what has happened. Kehinde Joseph, right? So for example, if I say I want you to do something like this, I want you to do something like this, print, for example, I say, let's say name is equal to Charles. Let's say sports is equal to football. Okay. It's equal to football. And then I say Charles loves football on Sunday. So let me say day is equal to Sunday, for example. Okay. So I want somebody to print this for me. Charles loves football on Sunday, right? So if we use concatenation, definitely I know this is what I would have. I'm just going to run this cell. I would have something like this. I can just substitute name plus loves football, sports, right? Sports day, Sunday, right? I can just say day. Okay, and then I start putting quotation mark on the ones that I did not define before now. Okay, you can see how I'm doing this real quick. Okay, so okay, plus on day, right? And then I can put this here because I know how this is going to turn out. I can do Charles loves football on Sunday, and then run this cell. Why is this so? Okay, day. Okay, right? So you can see I've used concatenation to do this now. Let's imagine I want to use the print statement. How will I go about this? Right, so print, let's say, let's go one after the other. Let's say name. So I'm just going to copy all of this. Okay, so let's say print this. Okay, let's say print. So we have about 2 more minutes to go, and this is where we'll call it a day. So I just want everyone to understand the print statement, and from there we'll start our class next week. Okay, so we have it here. So if I run this, for example, it prints Charles football and Sunday for me, right? If I want to, I want to have Charles loves sports on Sunday. So let me try and see if I can concatenate Charles and love in here, right? So this is supposed to be football, okay? So you can see what has happened. So this is not supposed to be, and nobody corrected me, okay? Loves football on.
I just wanted to say that.
Okay, awesome. So please pay attention. Okay, so loves football. So this here, Charles football and Sunday. Let's try and concatenate inside of this inside this print statement. So let's see. I'll just copy this and then paste this here. So let's run the cell. You can see we're going a step after the other. So Charles loves football on Sunday. So loves football on Sunday. So I can put this here, for example, right? So let's run this again. So we have Charles loves football on Sunday, right? But then we want to have it on a straight line, just like this, right? So just to duplicate this, I will just duplicate this, and then we can see how that happens, and we can compare, right? So if I come here and say, okay, then I say, comma, end. Remember, that is the argument that helps us to do that, right? And I say white space, right? So let's run this, and then we'll go gradually. So you can see we have Charles loves football on, on one line, and then Sunday on the second line. So it means we can add end also to this one and say end is equal to what? A white space. And then we can run this. So you can see our answer, right? So I could have done this in one step because yes, I'm proficient in Python, but nobody is going to crucify you if you do this, a step at a time, at least for someone starting newly in Python. Nobody's going to crucify you. Even sometimes as professionals, we just probably we are thinking of a lot. We just do these things, step by step to get our final answer, right? So that's just it, right? So just can someone try just one for us before we call it a day for today's class? Okay. Ari, are you there now? Boluwatife, are you there? Justice?
I'm here.
Okay, Ari, do you want to try it for us? I'm just going to give you another example, so you can do that for us real quick, and then we call it a day.
No problem.
Yeah, please kindly share your screen. Don't forget, if you have some personal information on your screen, you can take it out before sharing your screen. Yeah, please do share your screen, Ari. Okay. All right, so we want to do just give me a word, give me a short word, and then we do that. So anybody suggest any short word for Ari? Just any short sentence. Anybody wants to suggest a sentence for Ari to type?
Ari is a good guy.
Okay. Ari is a good guy. Okay. So Ari as a variable. So use first name as the variable name, not name. Use first name. Let's just change something a little. Use first name. Yeah.
Harry is a good guy.
Then just put, okay, just do Harry is a male. That's all. Okay, I've seen a potential error in your code, but I would want you to run into the error and then see how you can, go about this. So run your code, you're going to get an error.
The variable first name.
So exactly, syntax error. Remember the rules of naming a variable. It cannot contain special characters, and here white space is a special character. You can use underscore, you can use underscore or a number. Awesome. So you can see how you're trying these things. You just get to know that you're improving, whether you might not be evident to you, but you're improving as you're trying these things out. You're making mistakes, you're correcting yourself. It looks really basic now. And when we start getting into the complex stuff, right, you would understand that these basic things actually count. They count a lot because that's just the foundation of everything. You can use double quote too, not necessarily single quote. So far it's a quote.
I'm done.
Awesome to see. Yeah, this is great. Thank you, Ari. Okay, so this is what we are going to call it a day for this class. I hope you were able to learn one or two things in Python. Yes, like I said, we're starting pretty basic until we move to a higher level. These things are basic, right? But trust me, as you move, deeper, you see that a lot of things are actually built on these basic things, right? It's just how to now do it. That's and that's what makes it complex. Yeah. So thanks for coming to today's class, and so see you next.